Hello, this is Reverend Angelia with today's Bible reading. Today's reading comes from 1 Corinthians 14, Orderly Worship. What then shall we say, brothers? When you come together, everyone has a hymn, or a word of instruction, a revelation, a tongue or interpretation. All of these must be done for the strengthening of the church. If anyone speaks in a tongue, two, or at the most three, should speak, one at a time, and someone must interpret. If there is no interpreter, the speaker should keep quiet in the church and speak to himself and God. 2 or 3 prophets should speak, and the others should weigh carefully what is said. And if a revelation comes to someone who is sitting down, the first speaker should stop. For you can all prophesy in turn, so that everyone may be instructed and encouraged. The spirits of prophets are subject to the control of prophets. For God is not a God of disorder, but of peace. As in all the congregations of the saints, women should remain silent in the churches. Now you know I'm going to touch on that one. That is a tradition from back in this day. I believe, there are still sects of religious Christians who believe that woman is under a man, and but I disagree with that. I don't feel like Jesus taught that. That's a traditional thing. Jesus had women who had churches in their home, so I feel like if Jesus sanctioned that, then Jesus is perfectly fine with women being ministers and heads of churches. You knew I was going to touch on that. They are not allowed to speak. See, all the men was missing out on some good ideas. But must be in submission. I think we did that a little too long. As the law says. Again, that's the law. That's Old Testament law. That's not the New Testament that Jesus gave for everyone. And like I said, Jesus sanctioned churches by women in homes, and he was interacted with a lot of women. Well, he had a lot of women followers, and if not for them, maybe we wouldn't have gotten the gospel out, as much as we have so far. So, brothers, don't discount the women. If they want to inquire about something, they should ask their own husbands at home. For it is disgraceful for a woman to speak in the church. Again, that was a tradition, more about appearances, that your little woman was under control. You don't want your woman speaking out in church. Oh my gosh, she could speak in the home where she belongs. Did the Word of God originate with you? Or are you the only people it has reached? If anybody thinks he is a prophet or spiritually gifted, let him acknowledge that what I am writing to you is the Lord's command. Again, this is based on traditions of the time. And since I know Jesus, I know what Jesus has said and done. I do not believe that, everything that was just said was the Lord's command. And I know people are not going to like that because there are people say you have to believe every word of the Bible. But if you read the Bible again and again and again, as I have, you start to get a feel for who God is, who Jesus is. And there are words of men written in the Bible. I mean, you look back at Leviticus, and then Jesus said, oh, these people, these lawyers, these people of the law. So, if he had a disrespect for that, that tells me that that is not necessarily all the Word of God. If he ignores this, he himself will be ignored. And, I'm here to help the people who are watching this and who want to learn. So the rest of you, if you ignore me, I'm fine with that. I don't even care. Therefore, my brothers, be eager to prophesy, and do not forbid speaking in tongues. But everything should be done in a fitting and orderly way. And, what I have said earlier about the women, you're going to hear that from me. You're not going to hear that in churches, especially if men are leaders of the churches. And like I said, there are women who buy into that. There's a women's group who keeps kind of pushing their stuff towards me. And, it's like their whole deal is about being a good, godly woman in the home, and allowing the man to rule over them. And, these women have no wives. And in my work with the charity, some of these women end up being abused, and then they leave this abusive situation, and then they have no life. They have no income. They have no prospects because, they didn't go to college. They got married, and they have no money coming in. And this sets them up, for, dependents, being at the Center for Women and Families here in Louisville, or, wherever in your area. So I am a big believer, and if you study psychology, you find this out anyway. Everyone needs their own life. Women need their own life. Their life cannot be about one person or, just their family. You need to have a life for yourself. And if you're doing that, you might have some problems that you probably need to look into. And I can just hear the religious people coming against me now, and that's fine. But like I said, I've studied the Bible, read it through again and again and again, got a feeling for who God is, who Jesus is, and I've studied psychology. So some people right there think that's a no-no. You can't have God, you can't have science, but I don't believe that. I believe God invented science, and the way science is going with all the things that are being proven, I believe one day science is going to prove that God is real. So, I don't have a problem with that. But like I said, it is important for women to have their own lives. That's a psychological fact. If you're wrapping your whole deal around your husband, then for some reason your husband is no longer there, where are you? If you don't have any interests or goals of your own, where are you? So, I just want to put that out there, and I know that's not going to make some people happy, but, no offense. I've studied to the level I've studied to, and I know these things are a fact. So, until next time.